Hola amigos, bien o no, y saludos desde Medellín. Hoy el tema es resumen. Y como un resumen puede ayudarnos en mejorando nuestra fluidez y también en nuestra comunicación en general. Es el tema de hoy. So, hello from Medellín. We're a bit late today because I was waiting for the rain to stop. You might be able to see behind me a lot of clouds, but very luckily we've had quite a lot of rain today, so that's very nice. So the theme today, summaries. Summaries and why they help us improve our fluency and why they help us with our communication. Very useful things to practice, summaries. Whether we do a summary of a book we've read, I've done a few of those on my channel over the last couple of months. That's a good way to do it because then you're really condensing down either a chapter or a whole book worth of information into a few key points. Now, what's it really about? Well, it talks about this. That helps to show how well you've understood the book particularly. But you can take that to all kinds of different situations. Perhaps you were at a meeting with someone else, and when you go home you have to explain what happened. So, what did your boss say? Well, you don't necessarily have to repeat everything he said, but you have to give them a summary of what happened. So if we think about it, we do this all the time. What did you do today? Well, I did this. But that's not really true. You did a lot more things you left out. You don't explain it all from the first minute of the day right through to where you are now. You just talk about the few events that you remember. So summaries are really useful tool. It's something to try and get good at doing because it helps us use our own words to talk about things that perhaps other people have said. And that could be more difficult than you think, because if you can't remember exactly what the other person said, but you remember what they were talking about, you have to use your vocabulary to explain it, and maybe your vocabulary is not as extensive as the other person who was talking. So you have to think about what was the essential part of what they said. So a good skill to practice. Okay, so how do we practice it? Well, have a think about it. Maybe you're watching something on the TV, and when the program's finished, could you tell me really briefly what happened in that last hour on the show? What happened? What was the main thing that happened? Can you summarize it? If you're watching the news, what happened today? What was the main thing that happened today? If you're going to tell me what did you do at work today, what was the main thing that happened? Can you summarize it? The more of these things we think about, different ways we get to describe it. It's a bit like trying to describe a scene of what you see now in the street. You can't necessarily talk about everything, but you're going to look at the things that stand out to you. So similarly, if we talk about what happened in our day today, it's going to be the memorable events for us. Someone else's summary of the same day might be a bit different, but that's not important. The point is we get used to doing a resume, a summary of what happened, and the better we get at that, it's kind of a way of training our memory as well. You finish the phone call and someone said, "Who was that?" "Well, that was John." "Well, what was John? What did he say?" "Well," now you've got to try and remember everything he said. Not really. You're going to give a very brief summary of the main points, right? So that's the thing to practice today. Summaries. How good are you at doing that? That's the question. So for now, from Medellín, it's Cheerio.